Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into a massive, mind-bending mystery from ancient texts. We're going to look at a very specific title given to Jesus Christ, a title that totally unlocks who the source material claims he actually is. But we're not looking at this from our human vantage point. We want to know, when the creator of the universe looks at Jesus, how does he describe him? Well, he calls him the Word. And wrapping our heads around what that means in plain English, it absolutely changes everything about how we view God. So think about this for a second. If God is completely invisible, how in the world can we possibly know what he's thinking? It's kind of like being stuck in a pitch black room with someone who isn't making a single sound. You have absolutely no idea who they are, what their personality is like, or what they even want. You're just completely disconnected. For us to know a silent, invisible God, communication has to flow from heaven down to earth. Basically, God has to make the first move. And that brings us to this breathtaking ancient text. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. You've probably heard it before. It's the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 1. But this isn't just some poetic introduction to a biography. It's introducing this central, ancient concept of the Word as the ultimate key to knowing the Creator. It's telling us that before the cosmos even existed, this Word was already right there, intimately connected with God and actually being God. It's a really heavy concept, but we're going to break it down. Okay, point number 1, decoding the word logos. See, we read the word in English, but the original text uses a seriously loaded Greek term, logos. It translates to word, well, actually, it means expression, reason, and divine communication. From God's point of view, this isn't just a sound vibrating in the air. It is the breathtaking action of God taking everything he is and fully translating himself into something we can grasp. Moving on to part 2, making the invisible visible. So how exactly do you make the invisible visible? You express it. We have the reality stated in 1 Timothy 1:17. God is invisible. By definition, he is totally beyond our physical senses. But then, through Jesus, God suddenly becomes visible and knowable. Jesus Christ is called the Word because he is the tangible historical reality that bridges that massive gap. He takes the invisible reality of the Creator and put it into a format that humanity can actually see, touch, and understand. If we could literally translate God's direct thoughts into plain language, looking right down at us, it'd sound pretty much exactly like this. If you want to know me, look at my Word, Jesus. God isn't playing hide and seek here. He's saying, I've given you the perfect exact expression of who I am. Every single thing I want to say to you, everything I want you to know about me is wrapped up right there in him. All right, part 3, the voice of creation. This divine expression isn't just passive text on a page. It is raw, active energy. Let's walk through this logical progression because it's pretty fascinating. Step 1. Back in Genesis, God didn't build the universe with his hands. He spoke. He said, "Let there be light." Step 2. Creation happened instantly through that spoken word. God did not create silently. And step 3, the big reveal. Jesus is that active power. Just like John 1:3 says, all things were made through him. So from God's perspective, Jesus is the very voice, an active power that literally spoke the cosmos into existence. And this brilliantly shows how human communication works, right? Think about it. Your secret thoughts only become known to me when you speak them out loud. It works the exact same way with God. When you look at Jesus' actions, you are literally reading God's hidden heart. When you see Jesus loving the outcast, you are seeing God's love. When you see Jesus' unwavering holiness, you see God's holiness. And when Jesus shows staggering mercy, you are witnessing the exact mercy of the Father. Jesus is God's heart spoken out loud. Which brings us to part 4. The Word becomes flesh. And here is the ultimate plot twist in God's entire communication strategy. God did not remain distant. Just let the gravity of that sink in for a second. The creator of billions of galaxies didn't just shout some rules from the clouds. He didn't just drop a textbook from heaven and say, "Good luck figuring it out." Instead, he did this. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us. That's John 1:14. From God's view, speaking to humanity from light years away just wasn't enough. The divine communication, the logos, put on human skin, breathed our air, walked our dusty roads, and literally moved into our neighborhood.
And that leads us to our fifth and final point, the ultimate final message.
Let's see how this creates a massive paradigm shift. Before Jesus, God's communication was true, but it was kind of piecemeal. He spoke through various prophets, through vivid visions, through strict laws. It was fragmented. But in Jesus, God completely flips the dynamic. As the book of Hebrews outlines, God is essentially declaring, "This is my final word." Jesus isn't just another prophet in a really long line of prophets. He's the definitive, ultimate, and complete revelation. There is literally nothing left to say that hasn't been perfectly expressed in him.
So let's pull the whole shebang together into a super simple summary, looking strictly from God's viewpoint. Imagine the Creator telling you directly, "Jesus is my voice. Jesus is my message to you. Jesus is my exact nature revealed for you to see. And Jesus is my actual presence in human form."
So, if you take nothing else away from this explainer today, grab onto this absolutely crucial truth. Jesus is not just a messenger, he is the message. He didn't just come to deliver a flyer about God. He is the physical embodiment of everything God is and everything God wants to say to you. I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. What actually changes for you when you realize God hasn't just spoken in sound waves, but in a living, breathing person? When you hear the word logos now, you know it means the invisible God made himself entirely visible through Jesus Christ. How does that reshape the way you read about him or talk to him? Keep exploring that, and we'll see you in the next explainer.